Do you own any status symbols? Do you look at other people's status symbols and think those people are better than you? Hey everybody, this is Bob Cargill. Do you know the history of this logo? Do you recognize this logo? The crocodile logo. Let me tell you the history about this logo. Rene Lacoste, great tennis player, 1926, 1927. He was ranked number 1 in the world those 2 years. He won, I think it was 7 Grand Slam tournaments, championship tournaments. A great tennis player. And he wore a tennis shirt with the crocodile logo on it. His nickname was Crocodile. And he eventually founded a company that made those shirts with the crocodile on it. And those shirts were eventually licensed to Izod, Lacoste, crocodile emblazoned tennis shirts. Those shirts became a huge success story. That brand took off. Phenomenal success. It's still around to this day. But that brand hurt. How? Let me tell you how. Growing up, I was very fortunate. My family was fortunate. We had a house on the vineyard, Martha's Vineyard Island. We weren't rich, we weren't wealthy, but in the summer it was a fairly wealthy summer community. But our house had been handed down generation to generation. We were fortunate. Big summer house. And in the late 70s, early 80s, my formative years, if you will, mid-teens, late teens, early 20s for me in terms of age, all my friends, it seemed, on the vineyard had the crocodile tennis shirt, the Izod Lacoste tennis shirt. That's what they wore. That was the popular shirt. And I was jealous. I was envious. I wanted one of those shirts. I felt left out. I felt smaller than them, figuratively speaking. I felt less of a person. I felt poor. I didn't feel part of the clique. And at that age, that hurts. Status symbols. I eventually realized, grew up, matured, aged enough to realize that status symbols are no big deal. It's not the logo on your chest. It's what's in your heart that counts. But status symbols can hurt. The cars people drive, the clothes people wear, fancy watches, big bank accounts, impressive job titles at work. Status symbols can be used by people in positions of power. Status symbols can make others feel inferior. What about you? Young or old, we are surrounded by status symbols. Wherever we go, whatever we are doing, status symbols are everywhere. Logos, brands, material things. But status symbols are just that. They are symbols of something that may or may not even be real, of something invisible. They are symbols. So we have to realize that we don't want to be fooled by status symbols. We don't want to ever feel inferior due to being surrounded by status symbols that we don't have, that we don't own, that others do. Think about how people drive fancy cars and wear gold watches and shop at all the expensive stores. Think of how people wield their material things and show them off and flaunt what they own and how that makes you feel. Do you feel jealous? Do you feel envious? Do you feel any less of a person because they have these status symbols and you don't? Don't. That shirt, that logo, I can't forget how small it made me feel to this day. But that shirt, that logo would never make me feel small today. It did then, it wouldn't now. Don't let status symbols affect you in a negative way. Walk tall. Stand proud. Be your own brand. This is Bob Cargill. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, I hope life is treating you well.